Thank you, Praneeth. Uh, so, it is said that you are smart if you can learn from your experiences, right? But again, it said if you are smarter if you can learn from others' experiences. So I'm going to tell you some simple stories, what we have experienced through our journey. So what is the impact that we can do through innovation? But we do not have world-changing, we change one life at a time. So that's how we look at it. I'm going to just share some stories and some tips so that you can learn from my experiences. If we can move forward. Oh, sorry. I'm not very good at staying in one place, so if you don't hear me, please give me a shout. Raise your hand and tell you can't hear me. I'm not very good at staying in one place. So I'm not going to go through the flow of this talk. I'm going to tell you some stories, as I told you earlier, how we have worked with some of your colleagues on our innovation as well. And then we'll briefly look at why innovation is needed for Sri Lanka. Of course, Mr. Jaffarji covered it with a lot of facts and a lot of good insights. So I'm not going to talk about it much, but I'm just going to share a few thoughts. So you would ask, why do innovation to a company? Why would we try to invest a lot in innovation when you can organically grow in the market? Why would you need this? So there are three things that any company or even a nation would do, why you would invest. One thing is the adaptability. World is changing. If you look at a profit-making company, the consumer is every day changing. The world is so volatile. So you want to change so that you should have this agility so that you can compete even if the environment changes. And number two, of course, is growth. Every company desires to grow, either revenue-wise or profitability-wise. We want to grow. And the other thing is you have to differentiate from others. You have to have some edge over others to be successful. So all this is fine as long as you can do whatever you want, but that is not the right thing to do, and that is not what we strive to do. So it's a challenge when you want to do these things with sustainability. When I say sustainable, it's about economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, as well as social sustainability. So at MAS, we call them product, planet, and people. So all these sustainability matters. It's not only about environment for us. So MAS is on a journey. So this innovation journey, I'm going to just tell you some of the heartbreaks as well as some wins. So this journey, I'm not saying we are successful in this journey. There's a long way to go. There's learnings every day. I'm just going to tell you some stuff about this. So when we started in 2004, MAS is 32 years young now. Innovation started, I think Professor Karunaratne mentioned that you have to have your productivity and efficiency first right. So that is how MAS started innovation journey back in 2004, where we started implementing lean manufacturing so that we can reduce that 7 waste that in one of the speeches that was mentioned. Then in 2005, one of our plants, overnight we lost half the production, half the orders, half the revenue, because one of our customers, key customers, found a very innovative solution from another vendor. So they gave a lot of orders to this other vendor, and we lost the revenue for the next year. Half the revenue was gone, half the work was gone. Then MAS leadership took a step back as the response to this. So it is like, you might call it sporadic. Response to this disaster, MAS put up this MAS RNI. RNI is research and innovation. So we put some tech guys together, some engineers, some scientists, some material engineers and such together, and put MAS RNI in 2007. In 2009, not through MAS RNI, but from the production side, the manufacturing side of the organization, this rapid business model was innovated where you can supply or fulfill an order within 7 days. However, by 2011, we realized this putting up, I'm from a tech background, so I would also like to think all the innovation is tech-based. Tech can solve anything, but it is not so. So MAS also identified putting tech people together is not going to bring a lot of innovation. So what should we be doing? So that is where we look at in 2011, leadership went around the world to find out what is this ingredient, what is this recipe that 3M, Google, Facebook, they are very innovative. How do they do this? How do they become profitable year on year continuously? What do they do? So with these findings, we implemented MAS innovation. I'll talk to you more about MAS innovation. So when we put up MAS innovation, it was a lot of work, and MAS took a very bold step saying, by 2020, when we become a $2 billion organization, out of this revenue, 25% should come from innovation. So we were given a task, because we were from MAS Innovation, setting up this. So we looked at product, process, business model, all these aspects, how can we be innovative, what we have to do. Then we set up goals, targets. So the KPIs are very different to the performance engine, to the innovation organization. And we set up teams. Sometimes the traits of innovation team might be difficult to someone who runs the performance engine. However, the most critical thing was creating the right culture. I would go into a bit more detail later on this. In this journey, of course, we would like to talk more about wins. So I would talk about a couple of wins. I think in Achala's presentation at the early stage, we talked about this washable, absorbent technology, the underwear. So you might think, okay, isn't garments just putting two pieces together? However, if you really look at a textile, what a textile or your apparel goes through, you wash it. You wear it when it's sunny, you wear it when it's cold, you put it to the washing, you put it to the detergent that you don't even touch. You wouldn't like to touch this detergent, and then it goes under, I'm not exactly sure how many times the gravitational force in your dryer, in your washer. But you still expect it to last 25 or 50 wash cycles. You still want it to look good, be colorful, right? And you don't like it to peeling, snagging. All this you expect from your garment. So yes, enjoy your garments, but it is not very easy to come up with something. That's why when we look at products, I'll go into more detail later. It is a challenging job when you really look at it. I'm not going to go through all the USPs that we have, this unmatched functionality here. I just want to tell you, this is one of the key projects that we started as one of our adjacent businesses. And today it is at retail, this is more than $200 million business for MAS. And there are 5 distinct patents. And Professor Angika, I'm not exactly sure where this 452 only patents coming from Sri Lanka. Maybe it is in Sri Lankan patent, the national patents that we talk about. However, there are a lot of patents. Maybe corporate world is patenting in PCT in the US or UK, maybe not in Sri Lanka. So this has like 5 distinct patents. So this is more, if you look at, we have these 5 in US as well as in France, Germany, so in different countries, so then the number goes up. However, there are 5 distinct patterns around it. As innovators, our purpose is not to create patents. Our purpose is to create something that can be used widespread, can give us profitable businesses, long-lasting businesses. So patents is to protect that, it is not the other way around. So as Professor Angika earlier talked about, innovation is not coming up with something new only, but you use a new concept to widespread use. It might have commercial returns, it might not have commercial returns. However, it is for widespread use, not to be constrained or sit in a publication for that matter. So why I wanted to talk to you about this is this. So this is coming from, I think Achale mentioned, this is the femography pillar. So this is looking at girls and women's every life event and how we support women at that each life event, like puberty, the prenatal, postpartum, to premenopause, to postmenopause. So all these events, which most of the key brands, popular brands, do not like to talk about. I quickly go to this example. Why I want to talk about this example is you might have seen this in the booth. If you look at here, it is just one product, but there are multiple technologies coming in to make this product successful. So what this does is, it improves circulation of your calf muscle because you put it around your calf and you switch it on. That's all you do. You can choose, if at all, you can choose how much pressure you want. So there are multiple settings. And you have an app to see how it works, right? Whether what's the pressure, it's how long you want to set it for, and such. So here, what I want to show you is there are multiple technologies coming in, from software integration to, so the UI, UX in the app, to integrated soft good. It has to be comfortable around your calf, and there's electronic hardware. You have the firmware, you have the battery and the Bluetooth and the recharging. So all these are multiple technologies coming together to give you a solution. Why I want to show you this is, later when we talk about how we want to build ecosystem, how we want to work with you with you scientists, it is not from one discipline. We want multidisciplinary teams, and for each project, we can't have permanent team members who knows everything about blood circulation, everything about firmware, who can do hardware. So that is where we have our ecosystem partners like you coming in and working with you. So for this, we must have worked with multiple universities, multiple institutions to take this product to this level. So I want to touch upon what are the building blocks for a company as an organization. What are these building blocks to make an innovative environment? So for any innovative organization, whether it's profit-making or non-profit or state-owned, there are key things that you have to have in your DNA as an organization. There should be internal diversity. I think multidisciplinary teams, most of our speakers spoke about earlier. I will go into a bit more detail later. And you have to, in these teams, you have to have this trust and mutual respect to each other. So I can't think that I'm the engineer, I know everything. So I'm the one who's leading this, or it is successful just because of me. So that culture of openness, and actually the leadership giving, or the sponsors of this environment giving allowance for failure. We don't even call it failure, we call it learnings. So this is very important, otherwise no one will come up with a new idea because the earlier idea failed, right? So, however, again, we have to, sometimes in some, even in some talks, I have seen that there's a eureka moment, and you don't have to have a method. It is, you can innovate. When you wake up, you have an idea, you innovate. It's, I don't think that eureka moment happened to Archimedes, neither for us. It's a methodical process if you want to innovate continuously. So that methodical approach of validation of hypothesis is how we take an innovative project forward, validating each hypothesis along the way of the project. And of course, the external ecosystem are very important because we can't have all the disciplines inside one company, inside one organization. So for Trinary, it sums up to 5 things. It's our people, our processes, our technologies, ecosystem, and our culture. The last one is the most important. So in our people, what I wanted to show you was not only about their background. The earlier speakers spoke about having right teams. So when you want to have beyond your idea, if you hold on to your idea, it's not going to go to see the light of the day. It's not going to go commercialize. It's not going to benefit the wider community. For example, I saw that in the earlier competitors of 3M Talks, 3MT, if I'm not mistaken. So in that, all of them were really good. Something that I thought about, that you have to have a team to take it to market, like the salvia and another plant capturing phosphorus in the water. So it could be a startup, it could be a business. But one scientist might not be able to do that, right? It might be your idea, it might be your thesis, but you might need people who have financial acumen, as Professor Karunaratna, I think, talked about this, and someone who's willing to put their risk, put themselves out there and find sponsors, find investors, and find maybe manufacturing places. So you have to get your team if you want to take something to market. So that's why in our teams, as a corporate, we can do it. Even if it is not coming naturally, we can do it. We put people together. So it comes in our process as well. So when we look at the process, this is what I said that we found in 2013. Technology alone is not going to make innovation right. We have to understand what consumers need. We have to understand how to make money out of an innovation. So we call these three kind of what's needed is what the consumer need, what is the technological solution, and then how we can make money out of it is our process. I'm not going to go into these technologies. This is what we have created over the years, what we have access to, or what we have licensed in over the years, so that this is like in the Scrabble game, you have many letters, so you can make many things. So it is something like that. We keep on adding different technologies to our toolbox. Then in our ecosystem, some of you might see your universities, your institutions here. So we work with different kind of ecosystem partners to make our innovations successful. And in our culture, so some of these things like communication, incentives to people, this is important in any organization, whether it's innovative or not. However, the yellow highlighted ones are key for an innovative organization, in my opinion. You have to have some freedom. For example, if you have kind of a very military kind of organization and very authoritative organization across, you might not see a lot of creativity coming out, not of learning coming out. If you don't collaborate, you would have your idea, but it will never come out. It will never come as an innovation or a commercially viable solution out. So you have to collaborate internally as well as externally. And the failure, looking at failure as a learning, freedom and collaboration, these are very key things that I see. You might say incentives, isn't incentives coming into the picture? But if you really look at almost all the team members that we have, most of them working at Twinary, for example, I can't speak for others, but in our organization, most of them are not working for these incentives. They are working to make an impact. They want to do something to the world. So if I look at the team here, I have some colleagues from our teams. They have done their postgraduate in Europe, in the US. They have done their MBAs in other countries, but they have come to Sri Lanka because they think the most impact that they can do to the humanity is while working here, rather than being somewhere else. So I think more than incentives, that freedom and giving that positive outlook to failure is very important in an innovative organization. So coming to collaborations, I would like to talk about some few examples. There are so many that we do. I just want to touch upon few different kind of collaborations that we have done. So this Intu is the project name. We give like very fancy names to our projects. This is a non-invasive, reusable biosensor, so it's an electrochemical sensor. Usually you must have seen so many sensors, they are not reusable. So this we have got this, the requirement was to have, look at, like, the sensor should touch on your body and then collect the bodily fluids and then predict some events. So this, we had to have it reusable because we wanted to put it in a garment, which is reusable. So this is a collaborative project we did with Columbus Cell. Here, the project was very collaborative. At the initial stage, every week or every 2 weeks, we worked with them, we sat with them. So this is a very collaborative project that we worked hand in hand, and this got the first international patent for the Columbus Cell. So we got the exclusivity to use this. So there are so many different models that we can work with you. So this is a very collaborative project. If you look at Thor, this is an extra cooling fabric. This project, our teams gave the requirement to Slintech. Slintech worked on this and then found a solution. Here, the collaboration, like, we did not work with them so much closer, but we gave the requirement, and then Slintech got the patent, and MAS purchased the patent. When it comes to this is only, here the collaboration is, University of Morato did this study upon our request, and we used this study to create, study into work-related discomfort levels among female workers in apparel. So what this created was, because of this study, our automation teams created a paddleless feeding machine where the machine operator doesn't have to use their feet all the time. So mind you, these people are working 7 to 8 hours on a machine, then how many times they use the paddle is ergonomically, it's not fun. So this is installed more than 1,000, it's thousands of machines are using this. So it's a sensor-based technology, and industrial engineering teams have improved efficiency so much because of this innovation. So why I wanted to talk to you about these 3 projects is to show you how many different ways that we can collaborate with you. So it might be just a knowledge transfer, it might be research-oriented, it might be upon our request, it might be you have done some stuff, and you come and tell us, we have done these things. Is there any way of taking some of these things to market? So why this industry scientific community collaboration is important, as I just mentioned, we can create more value. And no organization can have so many disciplines, so many full-time expertise from all the disciplines under their permanent cadre. So we always like to work with scientific community in our innovations. So it's the knowledge for your inventions, and then to innovate it, to take it to market. And finally, the collaboration is important for academia to understand what kind of talent will be needed in the future in the industry, so that some of us work with curriculums of some universities to see what kind of curriculum you should have, so that the talent that universities produce will be useful as well as have a good future in the industry when they come out of the universities. So our asks, these are a bit specific. We need your, I'm talking from the business point of view, we need your knowledge and expertise, as I mentioned. And we need an openness in your mindset. You have to have an open mind. You have to work with bigger teams, different level of intellectual capacities, as well as multidisciplinary teams. And we need speed and continuity, because what we see is in our project, sometimes when RA changes, the same result cannot be repeated by the next RA who comes in, and then our project goes down the drain and we have to stop the project. So, and the speed is important. With one university, I don't want to mention the name, but it took more than 6 months to sign the MOU. So we never even started the project. And the resilience and passion is really important for us. We bring it and we expect all of you to bring it as well. So why innovation is important to Sri Lanka, this has been talked about a lot, so I'm not going to go into detail. As Mr. Jafferji said, that this is the right time because the scarcity, need is the mother of invention, right? So this scarcity, this is the time that we need leapfrog things. That we don't have 50 years to come out of this hole, right? We have to do high risk, high return stuff if we want to come out of this. So it's very important. And again, as someone else also mentioned, that creating attractive job opportunities here so that we can keep our talent in the country. So I'm not sure whether there are any corporates here, but this is important. If we can do this, there's higher chance that Sri Lanka achieving their targets much easier and earlier. And of course, adding, innovation creates disproportionate value, right? So in that case, adding value to our current exports and creating new opportunities, new products, new business models. So this is solutions through innovation is very important, and attracting foreign investments to the country and showing our innovative capabilities, we can do this. So that's why this is important to the country. And it says that for a company or for a nation, you need this ambidexterity, that you can work with both hands, kind of, to continue to be good at what you do, as well as doing new things. So again, in other words, it says the sustaining innovation and disruptive innovation. Both these are important to last long. So for a nation also, this is true. And if we can be innovative, it will come to our DNA, it will come to our mindset, our education, our culture. So that is why it's so important to Sri Lanka, because we can be a knowledge-based and a talent-based economy. It is what I say is that's the best way that we can make this. I would use, I think, somebody else's words from a different country, make Sri Lanka great again, right?
Innovation has been the spark that catalyzed humanity. And it literally all started with a spark. From rocks slammed together, we ignited a passion to improve our lives, innovating and helping the world grow. It took us from caves to villages to towns to mega cities. Innovation has made our lives better and more comfortable. From innovative irrigation methods that ensured crops and food were in steady supply, we were able to ensure our comfort and feed a great number of people. This food security ensured that we were safe and our neighbors and family could stay together. This only enhanced our desire to grow and develop. We developed tools and built practices that would ensure our needs were met not only for today, but for future generations. Emboldened by what we created, we worked each day to develop and grow without depleting and wasting resources we knew to be precious. It is this respect we had for nature and each other that ensured our solutions were sustainable and truly benefited humanity. Sri Lankans had engineering skills, very advanced for their times, related to irrigation, water management, architecture, and structural engineering, as well as materials and metallurgy. The dry zone water harvesting and management systems of the Rajarata Kingdom is one of the oldest historical recorded systems in the world. Nowhere else in the pre-modern world has there been such a dense concentration of irrigation facilities at such a high technical level. 48,000-year-old arrowheads reveal early human innovation in the Sri Lankan rainforest. This innovation greatly increased the chances of a successful hunt. This is the fire that our ancestors ignited in us centuries ago, And it is this fire that we need to reignite, with innovations that transform lives for generations to come and build on a legacy of sustainable conscious growth.
So why I wanted to talk about our technology-rich past is not to dwell on the glory of the past, or the past glory, but I wanted to remind you about this. So I want to request you and invite you to make the Sri Lanka a technologically more advanced country again. So that's why I wanted to talk about our past, our glorious past. And thank you very much. Please catch me for any questions even after the event. Thank you.